hire an immigration attorney for your consular processing case and you're nervous you're going to get scammed? If yes, watch this video. Hi, I'm Cecily Clements, founder of Root Migration. I help undocumented immigrants achieve lawful status through consular processing without fear or confusion. In this video, I'm going to go over what you should consider when deciding to work with a particular immigration attorney. If you've heard horror stories about people being scammed by their immigration attorneys, watch this video. I'm going to help you avoid that situation. My number one tip for finding a good immigration attorney is don't just rely on word of mouth or reputation in the community. Obviously, word of mouth can be a great way to find somebody, particularly if they have a really good reputation in your community. That's obviously a good sign, but you shouldn't rely just on that. There's some concrete steps and things that you can do to make sure that the person you're engaging with is a legitimate attorney and is ethical and will do a good job on your case. The first thing I want to say is if you are looking to hire an attorney, a licensed attorney on your case, make sure that that person is in fact licensed and that they don't have a history of discipline within their state bar. One thing that's important to understand is immigration attorneys can be licensed in any state of the United States of America. Immigration is exclusively federal law. So even if you're talking to an attorney in New York State or Arizona or any state of the country, they can be licensed in a different state. When you're talking to an attorney, don't be shy. Ask them what state they're licensed in and even ask them their license number. I've had one or two people ask me this in consultations over the years, and I'm never offended. And in fact, I'm happy to share the information. It is entirely appropriate if you are looking to engage with an attorney and pay them lots of money to help you with your legal matter, that you check their online credentials and you verify that they are indeed an attorney, that they're licensed, that they're in good standing, and that they don't have a history of discipline. As an example, I thought I'd show you my own attorney record on the State Bar of California website. And so whenever you're looking to confirm an attorney's licensure or maybe double check that they don't have any disciplinary record, you basically need to have two pieces of information. One is what state are they licensed in, or where are they licensed? And so each state maintains its own, regulatory body for the attorneys that are licensed in that state. I don't know how it works in Washington, D.C., but I imagine that D.C. has its own bar, because I know Washington, D.C. does not pertain to any particular state. I'm sure they would have their own way of doing it. Everybody who is an attorney in the United States needs to be licensed in a particular jurisdiction. So you need to know where that individual is licensed. The next best thing to know is what is their bar number or what is their license number. You can look individuals up by their name, but if they have a common name, you might find a bunch of different attorneys and you might not be able to figure out who specifically you're trying to look up. For my particular record, I'm licensed in the State Bar of, I'm licensed in California. So you go to the State Bar of California, and then my license number is 2444746. And so again, any individual who's asking me about their case, consulting with me, interested in working with me, if they were to ask me this information, I would gladly give it to them. Any attorney that gets upset that you ask them about this, that's a red flag, because it is within your rights to make sure that they, are licensed if they're purporting to be an attorney. And of course, you want to look up their record to see if there's any discipline that's been taken against them. So if an attorney is reluctant to give you this information, that's a huge red flag, and I would go elsewhere. This is just the State Bar of California website's homepage, and it says right here, look up a lawyer. I assume most state bars would have a similar setup where right there on the homepage you can look up a lawyer. So you just put my bar number in and hit search, and then this is my profile. And so you can see that my license status is active. This is not where my office is located. That's my mailing address where I get my mail processed. Oh, my website's not available. This is good. I looked at this. I can change that and put my website on there. But essentially, there's no discipline in my record. And so this is down here below is where you would see if there's any discipline that's been enacted against the particular attorney that you're looking to work with. And so again, it's just really basic information to look up, make sure that the person is in fact an attorney, and make sure that there's been no disciplinary actions against them. Now, I will say there are some attorneys that are unscrupulous, unethical, and they have yet to be disciplined. So none of the recommendations that I'm making in this video are all encompassing. It's a good idea to do all of them or as many of them as you can possibly do. Nothing is going to give you a full 100% snapshot of that individual, but each of these things will give you an idea. And if you do each of these things, you can feel pretty comfortable moving forward with that individual. I have had the unfortunate experience of having a lot of clients come to me from prior attorneys that are really unscrupulous or unethical, and they have been scammed by them. And sometimes those attorneys are legitimate attorneys, and they may even enjoy a positive reputation in that client's, circle or community or family or whatever it is. But if the client had taken the time to actually ask the individual for their credentials and look them up online, they might have seen that there's actually a history of discipline on that person's state bar record. And that might have helped them make a better informed decision about whether they really wanted to move forward with that attorney, even given all the great things they've heard. I mean, if the person has a history of discipline, it's really important to know, and you have to take that into consideration when you make the decision to hire them. In addition to looking up a particular attorney's state bar record, another thing that I highly recommend is that you actually search for the attorney online. Just do a simple Google search. Many attorneys will have Yelp reviews. They may have Google reviews. There's other websites that are specifically dedicated to attorneys like Avvo. I think Martindale Hubbard is one. If you do a Google search for that individual, you should be able to find numerous websites that might have former client reviews on there. Now, I will say attorneys are human beings. We can't please everybody 100% of the time. So even really strong, good, ethical attorneys will have maybe a bad review here or there from an upset client. That's just going to happen. Don't let just one or two bad reviews derail you if overwhelmingly the reviews are positive. But obviously, if you get on there and you see a bunch of bad reviews, that's a huge red flag, and you'll be happy that you did that research prior to deciding to hire that individual. I know that it can be kind of scary to think about hiring an attorney, especially when you're paying them thousands and thousands of dollars. Have any of you watching had bad experiences with attorneys that have good reputations? Or do any of you have any good or negative stories about looking for an attorney or working with attorneys? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories, and I'd also love to answer any questions you might have about how to find a good attorney or what to look for when you're looking for an attorney. Okay, my third point is, if possible, hire somebody that has experience with your type of case. Now, I do want to say that there are going to be brand new attorneys who are really awesome and ethical and don't have experience. If you find one of those attorneys and overall for other reasons it's a great fit and you feel really good, I don't think the lack of experience is a reason to not hire somebody. It's one thing to have a law degree and to be able to look up the law online or in the books or whatever, and it's an entirely other thing to have actual real world experience with the type of case that you're looking to engage that attorney for. If you can find an attorney that has experience with your type of case, that's done it before, and that can talk knowledgeably about the process, how long things take, what to expect, pitfalls that they've seen in the past, that's always better. And it's just good peace of mind to know that this person has done this before and they know what they're talking about. So that's one positive thing I think you should always look for in an attorney. Try to find somebody that has experience with the type of case that you have. My fourth point is be careful of false promises and guarantees, particularly in immigration law. I have a lot of experience. I've done a lot of cases, and there are times when I can tell people with a lot of confidence, I think this is going to be successful, I feel really good about this case, and etc. I'm very rarely in the position of saying 100% guaranteed this is going to work. And that's because I'm not the one making the decision, right? The attorney that represents you is not the judge. They're not the adjudicator. They're not the officer. We're never really in a situation where we can guarantee 100%, oh, this is going to be easy. That's pretty exceedingly rare in the immigration law world. For that reason, I think if a lawyer is making a lot of promises, a lot of guarantees, guaranteeing that it'll be really fast and easy, trying to rush you out of their office, not really taking your questions into consideration, just trying to appease you and tell you, yeah, it'll be fine, don't worry, give me the money. That's a red flag. You want somebody who is going to really talk to you about the case, the process. Of course, they can discuss the likelihood of success. They can give you a rough estimate or based on their experience, what they think might happen. An ethical attorney who knows the process for immigration and has experience is rarely going to be in a position of making guarantees and telling you that things will be quick and easy. Unfortunately, immigration is just not like that most of the time. It's usually a rather long process. There could be a lot of factors or variables. That would be a red flag for me, and something that I think you should look out for if somebody's just trying to make it seem like it's open and shut, super easy, and a fast timeline. If you find yourself in that situation that somebody's kind of saying, oh, this is easy and quick and it'll be no problem, just pay me this amount of money. You're never required to hire somebody, even if you do a consultation with them. You have every right to seek a second opinion. And that's true even if you're in the middle of an engagement with an attorney. If you're in the middle of working with them and you feel uncertain or unsatisfied or they're not communicating, you're always within your rights to go seek a second opinion or talk to a different attorney. If you have multiple attorneys telling you this is actually a really easy case, you really fit the law, this is straightforward, it should be clean and simple, then you have peace of mind that like, okay, I've heard that from several attorneys, I think it's true. But if you're hearing that from one attorney and it's making you feel a little uncertain or scared, don't hesitate to not only look the attorney up online, make sure their credentials are in order, but also get second, third, fourth, fifth opinion. You're within your rights to speak to as many attorneys as you would like until you feel comfortable with who you're going to hire. Okay, my last point is pay attention to how the attorney makes you feel. I think it's really important that you see your relationship with your attorney as a copacetic, cooperative relationship. Probably you're going to be dealing with this person for a fairly long period of time. You're going to be paying them a fairly large amount of money in most cases, and you need to feel like you can trust them. You need to feel comfortable with this individual. I'm consistently surprised at how many clients tell me that they've had really terrible experiences with prior attorneys, that the attorneys were rude or condescending or refused to meet with them and they would only meet with the attorney's assistant. Maybe, like never answered their phone calls, never got back to them. I mean, I'm not perfect. I definitely have times where it takes me a while to get back to my clients, and that's something I try to improve on all the time. I'm always available or try to be available and open, and I want to listen to my clients and I want to hear them. I want to do my best to make them feel seen and heard, like I'm paying attention to what they're saying and I'm paying attention to their concerns. It is true that sometimes clients focus on things that are sort of irrelevant, or they're just worried about something that's really not a problem. And so us as attorneys, we can kind of feel like, oh, just stop worrying about that, or trying to get them to understand that it's not a problem. But at the same time, if that's a genuine concern and you really want to talk to your attorney about it, you should feel as though you're being heard and you should feel as though your concerns are being addressed. That's really important. Don't stick with an attorney who doesn't do that for you or who makes you feel nervous or scared to even contact them or belittles you. I mean, that's unacceptable. And I'm always surprised at how many people tolerate that kind of behavior from attorneys. There are plenty of attorneys out there, and you are within your rights to change who is representing you in your matter. Overall, in general, after you've looked the person up online, after you've confirmed they don't have any discipline actions, after you've confirmed that they have experience in your type of case, and maybe you've talked to friends and people in your community, you've gotten some good word of mouth, you've talked to other attorneys, you've done second, third, fourth, fifth opinion, then you can really just base it on who felt the most comfortable, who felt like you could really work with that person, like that was somebody that you could get along with, not just entertain your questions, but address your concerns and really meet you halfway and work with you in the course of the case. I always feel that way with my clients, is that this is a partnership. It's not just me doing the work for them or them doing the work for me. We're working together to achieve a goal. And I think that's a legitimate and valid goal for clients to feel that way about their attorney as well. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions or this raised any issues for you, drop a comment below. Also, look in the links below, check out my website, check out my free resources around consular processing cases. I have 6 things you need to do to win your waiver, and also just an overview of the consular processing steps. Like always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help. And thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you next time.